Welcome back, mamas. Y'all, today we are going to talk about something maybe a little controversial. It might strike a chord with you. Is social media killing your mom life? Is it killing your goals? Is it killing your dreams as a mom? Is it prohibiting you from getting everything you want to out of mom life? I want you to consider this. Just hear me out. Let's get into it right now. Do you wish you had control of your days, that you had a rhythm, but instead feel overwhelmed, scattered, and like there's never enough time? You're in the right place. I'm Danielle, a recovering workaholic, wife, and stay-at-home mom of two girls. I've learned how to reclaim my time and find purpose and freedom so I can be present with my kids and feel like myself again. Here, we embrace where we are, but we don't stay there. So if you're ready to trade the chaos for clarity, the guilt for grace, and the endless to-do list for aligned flow, grab the kiddos a snack and toss in that laundry because I know you're multitasking, and let's do this because your time, your purpose, and you matter. Okay, mamas. So I want to talk to you today about something I believe is so important. It is so important to me, and I believe it is probably super important to you as well. Being a present mom. And what does that mean to you? What does that mean? I know for me, it means actually being in the moment that I'm in with my children, actually being able to enjoy them and what they're doing when we are doing things together, or, being in the thing that you're doing at the moment that you're doing it, right? Not being like playing with your kids, but also like doing 45 things in your brain or being on social media. We're going to talk today about social media. I want to start first with a quote from James Pierce, and it says, "The moment is not found by seeking it, but by ceasing to escape from it." The moment is not found by seeking it, but by ceasing to escape from it. So, y'all, this was like inspired by something that happened to me this weekend. So, on Saturday night, one of my daughters was having a sleepover, birthday party sleepover. She was at it. It wasn't my house, it was somewhere else, right? So she was not here. And my husband and I and my youngest were all playing games. Like my youngest wanted to have game night, right? So she was super excited to have alone time with mommy and daddy, right? So we did game night and we're sitting there playing a game. And I noticed that Michaela kept, like, I got a new iPad for my birthday. And so she has been enamored with this thing. And I finally set it up and had it all ready. And she has been enamored with it. And she has created these new like emojis on there. And for whatever reason, I think Scott and I might have been busy or something. So she started texting my dad like before we started playing the game. And then he texted back and she was like, saw it on my iPad because she's texting him through my phone. And she saw it and she started like texting him back, and she was super distracted, right? She was not involved in our game. Like she got super distracted by it. And it irked me a little bit. Like I was like, why is she texting him and not paying attention? She wanted this time or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I guarantee you, this is what happens to them sometimes, like in reverse, right? Like we get a text or we see something pop up on social media, we get a notification that pulls us away from what we are doing with them, right? And so it brought me to wanting to talk to you guys about social media and about the impact that it has on your relationship with your kids. And the reason I want to talk about this is it had me start to think about presence and how I used to want that more than anything, being present with my kids, and how I craved it so much because I didn't feel like I was present with them, right? Like I felt like I had decided to stay at home. I was doing this thing that I wanted to do. I was in it. I had two littles. I was in the day to day with them, but I wasn't. Like, I actually wasn't in the day to day with them because I was living in this overwhelmed state. I was living in my head. I was living on social media. I was living in the moment with them, but not with them at all at the same time. And I would not really notice it in the moment as much as I would notice it like later. Like I wouldn't notice that I wasn't being present in the moment. I would notice later when I was looking back, like on my day. And this is when I started to do work on myself. Once I started to do work on myself, I would notice that I was not being present in my moments, like any of them, really. I was always thinking about what's next. I was always thinking about something else. I was always getting distracted and was not able to be in the present moment. I was escaping, right? I was escaping my present moment. And that is what we do so many times as moms, and we don't even realize it. And it is so dangerous. And social media is probably one of the biggest things that can pull us away, especially when we are in this place of unhappiness, this place of, I know I want something more, but I don't know what that looks like or what that is. This place of, unsettled, where you are just looking for something to bring you some joy. And a lot of times we feel like social media can give us that joy, right? Like we do believe that it can give us that joy, and it does give you an instant dopamine hit, right? This is why we're all addicted to it. It's because it actually does produce dopamine in our brains, especially for those of us with ADHD, right? Like anyone who is scattered all over the place, hot mess all of the time, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have ADHD, but it could, right? It could mean that. And for those of us who have the lack of dopamine, that creates this addiction for anyone, but especially for those of us with ADHD, right? And this little dopamine hit that we're getting addicted to it. And then we're spending so much time on social media, which leads to a lot of other things that we don't necessarily want. Like it takes our time away, but it also has us being distracted from our children. It has us being less present and comparing ourselves to others. It takes our mind away from our kids. And I heard, like, I actually watched this like news story from this Dr. Cooley who said, and this is from a study, it wasn't her study, I just heard her do this news story that said that parents who spend a lot of time on social media are 29% less likely to interact with their kids during playtime. They interact 29% less. When they are heavy social media users, they are interacting 29% less. This is not to say that they aren't involved in the playtime. Like they're actually still in the playtime. They are engaging 29% less with their children during playtime. And they're still in the playtime. But because they're getting what they were saying in this study, at least this was her quoting the study, right? But what she was saying was that it was not because they were using social media during the playtime. It was because they were essentially like burnt out on social. They had done a lot of social interactions, and our brain can misinterpret social interactions online as real social interactions. And so they were essentially just more tired from interacting on social. So they were 29% less likely to engage with their kids when they were playing with their kids. Okay, this is a problem. This is a problem that I know I didn't recognize that I had, but it is a problem that I am sure a lot of us have. And I was thinking about that being present with your children and how I used to crave it so much. And I say used to, I still crave being present with my kids, but I believe that I do a much, much better job of this now than I used to, because once you become aware of it, then you can do things to correct it, right? You can catch yourself, you can catch the patterns. And I thought about doing like an episode that was like 3 ways to be more present with your kids, but I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many more ways than 3 to be present with your kids, or things that can help you to be more present, not only with your children, but just in your day to day. I feel like this was a huge one, though, the social media and just the need for us as parents to model the behavior that we want our children to have, right? So we do not want them to spend all of this time on social media when they become of an age where they are on social media. But we are doing it, right? And we are losing a lot of ourselves and this ability to be present in our present moment because we are engaging in this social media in such a way that it is taking our energy, it's taking our focus away from where it should be, where we actually want it to be, right? And so I want to read another quote here. And this one is from Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh says, "The most precious gift we can offer others is our presence. When mindfulness embraces those we love, they will bloom like flowers. When mindfulness embraces those we love, they will bloom like flowers. When we are present with our children, they are going to bloom like flowers, right? And we can give them that gift, right? Social media is a way that takes us away from them. Now, a lot of times, most parents that are, surveyed of when they use social media, most of us tend to wait for the kids to be in bed sleeping or, be down for nap time or during their playtime, or if they get screen time, that's when we do our screen time. Or it's times when you aren't necessarily going to be interacting with them. However, what it does to our brains is it makes our brains less productive. It makes our brains less productive. We are addicted to it also. And so then once we've seen it, number one, we're living there, right? We are living in that moment. We are comparing ourselves to others. We are, wishing we had this, that, or the other thing. We are wanting for a lot of things that we don't necessarily need. It's causing us this added stress or this added pressure or this false feeling that you have interacted with humans today when really all that you've done is be on social media. Right. And maybe you've made a few interactions like on commenting or whatever, but like the person might not have even commented back or seen your comment. Right. And so you most likely haven't even had a conversation with this person, but you somehow are feeling like you have been social when you haven't. When you haven't, you've been sitting in your house. You've been not doing anything but scrolling on your phone, right? And we lose so much time to it. You would be amazed. I know I was shocked when I put a limit on my social media during the day. Like you can actually set your phone settings to like include certain apps and say, once you reach this level on this app, on these apps to shut your time down for the day. And it will, it will then gray out those apps on your phone. And when I set this for myself, I was shocked at how quickly I reached my limit. Now I've gotten so much better about it. I recognize that what I think is 10 minutes on social media is likely 30 or 45, right? Like it is likely a lot longer than you think because you start reading things, you start interacting, one thing leads you somewhere else, you go down all these rabbit holes, right? And it leads to all of these things that we probably wouldn't normally think are healthy if we sat back and thought about it. But it also leads to us being less present in our moments when we are engaging in this kind of behavior on our phones. It is proven. And I haven't seen the movie, The Social Dilemma, but I've put it on my list to watch. And I'm actually in the middle of reading The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And that book is amazing, by the way. It talks about social media and how our brains react to this stimulus and how these people that develop these apps know the psychology behind our brains, and they are trained to get us addicted and also keep us coming back and wanting more. And all of this is taking your time and energy away from where you actually want it, which is with your kids, right? But it's also just being present in any and every moment, right? Not just the moments with your kids. You want to be present with yourself. I know that if you are wanting more for yourself, you are never going to find it on social media, right? You are going to find it by reflecting on what is important to you. You are going to find it inside yourself. You are not going to find it on social media. And a lot of times, social media is actually taking that energy from where you should be focusing it, where you should be thinking. Like if you are, using social media to find people that, share your passions, and you are trying to study them and see what they do so that maybe you can do that. Okay, maybe, right? But I am betting that that is probably not what the majority of your time on social media is spent doing, right? It's most likely, even if you do find somebody that is doing something that you think you might could be passionate about, a lot of times you're just spending your time watching what they're doing and how they're interacting and what they're doing with their friends, and, wishing you were them versus trying to study how to do what they did, right? How to become more like them, right? In whatever you want to do. That is what I want to help you do, right? That is what I want for you. I want you to be present as a mom first and foremost, but I also want to help you figure out what your core values are and how we get you back to your strengths, to what's important to you now, so that you can go where you want to go, because you most likely want something additional for yourself. If you are filling your time with social media, you are looking for something, right? You are trying to get that dopamine hit. You are trying to get some joy in your life, and you're looking for it in the wrong place. And so let's get you back to what is important to you, to your family, not what's on social media and is important to everyone else. Because even things that look shiny and great and like you wish you would want them, right? We can all want so many things, but are they practical? Is it really, when you get down to the nitty gritty and think about it, is it really what you would actually want? Because there's a lot of things that I look at on social media and think that I would want them. But when I take the time to sit there and practically think about it, I actually don't want that. I really don't. And it's not important to me. It might look fun and whatever, but it's just not, it would not work for me or for my family. And so this is what I want for you with my coaching that I offer, my prioritization clarity call that you can get at prioritizewithpurpose.com. Go there, sign up for a call. We will get clear on what you want, because I want you to be able to be present in your moments with your kids and also be super fulfilled in that, right? To know that when you're with your kids, you can be fully with them. And when you're not, or when you're working on yourself, or when you're doing that, you can be fully present in that too, right? And social media, I'm just throwing it out there, is the one thing that I believe, like the top thing that I believe is probably stealing your presence. And I would advocate for you cutting it down a bit. Cutting it down a bit. Try setting the limit on your phone. Try doing that and see what happens, y'all. Just do it for yourself. I would love to hear about it. If you do that, go and tell me, like in our Facebook group, shoot me an email, however you want to get in touch with me, sign up for a call and we can talk about it in depth, right? Like if this is something that you need help with, and in coming up with what you want for yourself. This is what I absolutely love to do, is to help you get what you want as a mom, help you be the mom that you want to be and the woman that you want to be. So go to prioritizewithpurpose.com. You can find all of the ways to get in touch with me there. Prioritizewithpurpose.com. Sign up for a prioritization clarity call, and I will see you back here on Thursday. I might have to do a series since I uncovered all of these reasons why we should be more present or ways to be more present. I was like, maybe I'll just have to do a little series on this and do this every Tuesday or something for the foreseeable future, because there were so many ways that you can be more present. So if you'd like that, let me know about that too. Okay, talk to you Thursday. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, Mama. If so, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and then hit share and send this to a mom who needs this in her day. I'll meet you right here on Thursday. Keep smiling, y'all.